everybody, Master Ernie T here, checking in with Awaken Within, episode 41. And this is where I share my personal supplementation and my meal plan. What I use now at 69 years old, and how I'm training now, and how my body is now, right? So, first of all, check with a doctor, your doctor, hopefully, right? Hopefully he's got an open mind. Maybe he could be into the holistic practice, homeopathic pathway. But if not, make sure you let him know, especially if you have diabetes and things like that. But I am not going to be getting into deep, conversations about diet, right? The first three letters of that word already kind of is a bad association, diet, right? We're not going to get into that. If you're looking to get on a strict diet and you're a bodybuilder, I'll hook you up with somebody else, and I'm going to get into that at the end of this video. I'm not about that. These are just ideas and options, okay? And ways that I really use food and supplementation now, right where I'm at now in my life at 69 years old. So let's jump right into it. Number one, hopefully you got a pen. If not, you can keep looking at this video. Okay, number one, I'm a plant-based guy most of the time, okay? Not totally all the time, but I really believe in plant-based, meal plans and diets. I do the best that I can in the course of a week. I also eat about 3 to 4 meals a day, small meals. I usually start off with a protein drink in the morning with a banana, and I've been doing that, I can't tell you how long, and I'm up around usually 4:30, and that's how I usually start my day. But I usually have a cup of coffee first, and then I move on to something to eat. I'm not a big, eater in the morning anyways. I just don't like that anyways, and I usually train on an empty stomach, to be quite honest with you. I got that from my bodybuilding days years ago. I'm a firm believer, though, getting back to live food. It's important. If you want to be alive and feel alive, then you should be eating as much live food as you can at a cellular level. That's really important, right? You got to think about it. How much food do we eat that's dead, right? So it's important, right? And that goes with the plant-based stuff as well. I don't do dairy at all. On the weekend is my cheat day. That's when, all bets are off. And of course, I'll have dairy because I'll have some cheese on a pizza. I'm Italian. I want to enjoy myself too. And I think this is very important to know, that you should be having some balance and enjoy yourself too. This is not about being strict. This is some ideas and some options that work for me. All right, so that's why I'm not going to get really too deep into things and grams and all that stuff, right? Not good. Fruits and vegetables, I do as much as I can, especially fruits at this time of year. Love it. I do a couple of smoothies and also green drinks. What is the difference? Well, this is what I use as far as the terminology goes. A smoothie for me is really about fruits, right? And a green drink is about plants, and that's what I do, right? So I use a couple of different type of proteins. I'm going to show you in a minute on some of these supplements, all my supplements that I use in the course of a week, and I change them from time to time. And but I'm going to move on here. I do have a cheat day on the weekend, and I do whatever I want, eat whatever I want, I should say. I'm not a big dessert guy, so that's not a big deal for me. And cookies and desserts and pies, I'm not that. But you'll find me in Federal Hill, having some bread or something like that for sure. But all week long, I don't do carbs. I rarely do. If I do, it's usually brown rice or something like that, or oatmeal or a banana. I do plenty of protein. I try to get as much protein as I can for what I do, because I still train, and again, the grams differ, it depends, right? I still eat a steak once in a while and a burger. Again, I try to stay as close as I can to plant-based and live food, but I do eat red meat from time to time. What else? My last meal is usually before 8 p.m. That is it. I'm done. Just keeps the weight off of me. And here are some of the supplements that I have. And I'm going to get off camera here for a second. I do 2 proteins. One is a vanilla. And, you know, it depends on what kind of protein that you want. I mean, listen, I spent up to $75 for a container like this, and plant-based and all that stuff. And, you know, once in a while, I just get simple and just go with this. And a lot of these can be bought at CVS or Walgreens. And I do 2 of them. You know, this is vanilla, and it's for a reason. The vanilla protein is because I like mixing it. It tastes better when it comes to a smoothie, right? A fruit smoothie. I use a lot of berries, so putting chocolate protein in it doesn't really do it for me. But I do have chocolate, and this is what I use here. This is another brand. You can get this anywhere again. And this I like to do in the morning, all right? And that's when I do my banana, right? And it works for me, right? It really does, and I always has for many years. Some of this stuff still kind of spills over from the bodybuilding days, right? And, you know, multivitamins. It was taught to me a long time ago, multivitamins is pretty much the same thing right across the board, unless you want to get crazy with it. And I really don't want to do that anymore. Again, these are options and ideas and what works for me. Again, check with your doctor. 365, right? This is pretty much a supplement that comes from Whole Foods. It's a multivitamin. It has everything that I need. It has a 50 plus year old man on this, or a person here. And so I do one of these in the morning. I keep it really simple. I used to do 15 supplements a day in the morning, and I just don't do that anymore. Omega-3. Okay, this is good for the heart health, all that good stuff. You can do whatever you want, fish oil, whatever. And that's the second. And the third is calcium, you know, for the bones. And that's all I do. That's all I do in the morning. Those 3, that's all I do. I've come a long way, because a lot of it was just going right into the toilet. And I really, truly mean that, right? There goes your money right down there if you do too many supplements, right? Cool. Here's the other thing, some of the things that I do too. I do drink coffee. I try to stay away from it the best I can sometimes. And what I'll do is I'll do one of these Om packets. You can get this again at Whole Foods. This is a mushroom blend. It helps you with energy and focus and immune health. It's excellent. It has lion's mane and a few other things in it. It's awesome. Has a different flavor as well. Coffee latte. And also matcha as well. And those are what I use in the morning or in the course of a day sometimes for a little pick-me-up. I want to, you know, keep me focused. And I don't get too crazy, you know. There's some deeper things I'm going to get into in the next video that are a little bit more out there for you, okay? But these are my basics. The last thing is some recommendations, of course, you know, is what do I get my stuff? Whole Foods. There's a few places, right? Cranston and the East Side and North Main Street, Whole Foods. Also, I love the Green Grocer in Portsmouth. I think it's Portsmouth, right? It's another great place. Of course, when I'm in Naples, there's a bunch of places there. Food and Thought, Sprouts, and Whole Foods as well. Great places there. All that good stuff. What else? Recommendations. Okay, if you're looking really for a personal trainer that's really gonna know his stuff when it comes to dieting you, like, all right, no fooling around kind of guy. David Finelli, he's from East Providence. He has a fitness studio in East Providence. I've known him for years. He's a fantastic guy. He gets right to work with you, and he doesn't play any games, especially if you're a bodybuilder. He still diets people today. He's a champion in his own right, for sure. Many times champion bodybuilder. He still trains, and I love people that walk their talk like him. Check him out. For sure, I've used him more times than you can ever imagine. What else? I will give you one particular diet, if you'd like to call it that, that really changed my life about 7-8 years ago, that I still use that person's diet. And that is Edward Mead's Wild Fit. He's all over, and it has been all over social media for years. I love it. I'll tell you why. He connects the emotions and feelings in the mind towards looking at food. Remember, it's all mind. I've been talking about this for how many years, right? That's why we're always blaming everything on the outside of us. You know, this diet doesn't work, that diet doesn't work, you know, that recovery doesn't work, that pathway doesn't work, right? That trainer's no good, that master is no good. we'll have to start thinking on how we really think, if we want to be honest with you. But Wild Fit, check it out. And again, don't forget, I would love to hear your comments. All right, get those comments out there. Give me the thumbs up. And again, I have to tell you, this is all basic stuff. All right, this is what works for me, where I'm at right now. I keep it super simple. I take care of myself. And speaking of, one more last supplement that I do around the fall, because I am totally in the idea of preventive medicine, right? For sure, and maintenance, of course. And that is about taking care of yourself in the fall, before flu season. And sometimes I'll use this company. I'll also use Emergency C. You get one of these little packets, and this is full of vitamin C. And you pour it in a cup and mix it up, okay? And it tastes good, very orangey, citrus. It's excellent, all right? A lot of vitamin C here, protect you from colds and all that, get your immune system up. And let's see, what else? Yes, the green drink that I use also, before I forget, I will put that out there. If you would like the recipe for the green drink, please let me know. That's a little bit more intense, so you let me know. As far as the smoothie, it's very simple, right? I use some almond milk, I use some water, I use a bunch of frozen berries, okay? And I do a scoop of vanilla protein powder, right? And I put it in a blender, right? Depends on how much almond milk you want to use and water or whatever. And I use frozen fruit and berries because that's kind of like my ice. So it's already frozen, so I don't need any ice cubes or anything like that. And I blend that baby up. And I tell you what a pickup in the afternoon. It really is, especially if you're trying to cut back on caffeine. So that will help. So I know I threw a lot of stuff at you, and I'm probably speaking very quickly because I don't want to take too much of your time. But we are going to go into a little bit more about how we look at food, but also training for those that are still training at your age and like me, and what I do to help you out with that. And then we're going to get into a whole series of different type of wellness pathways as well. And some of them are metaphysical and also plant medicine and all that good stuff. And I'm going to turn you on to some recommendations, some people that I know that are practitioners that could really help you as well. Hey, listen, have a good day. I want you to stay healthy. That's what this is all about. It is a lifestyle. It's not a sometime thing. It's an all-time thing, right? So we have to look on how we really are going to approach this if this is something new to you. Please contact me anytime and make sure you subscribe. Have a fantastic day.